Yes, staring. Hey explorers, Kitted Explorer here, and today I'm back with another episode of Travel Chat Thursday. So what are we gonna talk about today? Today we're gonna talk about traveling while Black. So let's get into today's topic. But before we get into today's topic, make sure you go and hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell right next to it so you're notified when all of my videos are released. Videos are released every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It's free, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then you'll be notified about all of my travel adventures, tips, and chats right here on Kitted Explorer. Now let's head into today's topic. So there are a lot of different things that you can encounter that are different than the majority when you're traveling while Black. And I'm going to talk about my specific experiences, but if you are Black and you've had a different experience or different story to tell, I would love to hear it, and you can comment that down below. So first, one thing that I've encountered is they don't really believe I'm American or not, or don't assume that I'm American. I was in Australia. I went to see an opera. I go up to the usher and I'm like, hey, where is the seat located? And she's like, oh, let me take you. So she's walking me to my seat. Of course, you're gonna have a conversation. And she's like, well, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Atlanta, the United States. And she's like, really, the United States? And she looked at me like I was lying. I'm like, yeah, I'm from the United States. A lot of times people really don't know if you're from the United States because when the US news is shown outside of the country, yes, there has been more Black Americans shown in the news, but it's still not many, right? And so when they actually see someone in their country from the US that is Black, they may not really assume you are from the US. They can assume you're from an African country. They could assume you're from somewhere else nearby in their world. So it's definitely important to travel and show, hey, I'm Black, I'm from the US, and I love culture. But yeah, I definitely do get that a lot if I'm American or not, or if they even believe it. The next thing is staring. Yes, staring. When you go to some countries where there isn't really people of brown skin color, you do get stared at. Mainly in Asian countries, specifically China. So I experienced this while I was there. I went to China for 3 weeks. The staring was annoying because I worked in Tianjin, I visited Beijing and Xi'an. And every city I was in, there were always stairs, except for Tianjin. I don't think I remember any stairs there, but Tianjin is a very expat and Western world. There's a port there and there's a lot of Western companies there. And so it was more international. Beijing, you didn't run into it as much, but I still ran into it, especially at the historical sites. And it is annoying, like, it's crazy because I'm just trying to have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful time visiting your country and learning about your culture. Stairs, I mean, they would come up with their phones and try to take selfies, which is it's just rude. Like, I'm on vacation. I've heard in other countries it may happen as well because you aren't familiar. They're not used to seeing you on the TV or walking around in their streets because you're Black and you don't blend in, and it's so annoying. Okay, another topic. Please don't touch my hair. I can't remember the tune, the Solange song, but don't touch my hair. Hair is definitely a thing in some parts of this world because our hair can be different. Like, I love being Black because my hair, I can switch it so many different ways and I love it. When I worked in the office, my hair would be switched up all the time. When you go out of the country, people will look at your hair. Some people actually ask questions, oh, how is that done? What kind of color is it? Is that all real hair? But the point where someone reaches to touch your hair like your pet is not okay. And it should never be done. But that's something you have to worry about. I had some braids when I went to Turkey, and the guy at the check-in counter in my hotel was like, are those dreads? That's so, what did he say? Like Bob Marley or something? And I'm like, they're not dreads, okay? They're braids. They're two different styles. Like, this is a whole history lesson here. So some people are just curious about how the hairstyle is done because they can't do it in their particular culture. But when the curiosity exceeds into stares or touching is not okay. And that's something you have to be aware of when traveling while Black. And the last one for me is a big one. You have to research where you plan to travel to is safe for Black people. There are places in this world, in my country, where it's not particularly safe for a Black person to travel to. And it's unfortunate that you have to do it. I went on Google and typed in, is so-and-so country safe for Black people to travel to? I have done it on multiple occasions. I have Googled stories about Black people in a certain country to see what experiences other Black people have had in that country, because I need to know if I will be targeted when traveling there, because my vacation, my holiday is not gonna go well if I'm gonna be mistreated because of the color of my skin, period. With that being said, let's get into the ABC Travel Green Book. So this book is the new age version of the Negro Motorist Green Book, written by Victor Hugo Green during Jim Crow. Jim Crow was a period in the United States that really reinforced segregation of Black and white people within the country. Victor Hugo Green, which I believe was a postal worker, he created this book to notify Black Americans where they could stop for lodging, gas, and other important essentials along the road that were safe for Black people. Actually, Zion National Park just posted about that their lodge was actually featured in this book during this time period on their Facebook for Black History Month. How cool is that? So that book was definitely a great resource for Black Americans during that very difficult time period within the country. But going forward to 2020, Martinique Lewis actually published a new version of the Green Book during this time period. And I actually wrote an article on this for Travel and Leisure magazine online last year, which I have linked down below. I highly recommend if you can get it in digital version, that will be better because then you can do easier search. But I wanted the print version because I wanted to sit out and flip through it and everything, but it is a little bit harder to search. So this book, resource of places around the globe with Black-owned businesses, or things that, you know, are just made for Black people or support Black people. So if I go through the new version of the ABC Travel Green Book, and I'm just looking at the contents to tell you all the things that are included within this book. You have different accommodations, airports with Black CEOs and aviation directors, banks, Black-owned bookstores, brunches, Black brunches around the world, and Black restaurants, distilleries, wineries, alcohol brands, that's my jam, y'all, festivals, flight attendants, food guides and pets, tourism boards with Black C-level executives and yacht clubs. And there are recommendations on every single continent in this book. As Martinique says here, which is on the back of this book, that this book was inspired by Victor Hugo Green's Negro Motorist Green Book. This will be the first time Black travelers will have one resource that collectively lists all Black-owned businesses, neighborhoods, and online communities in every country with the aim of strengthening local economies and circulating the Black dollar. This resource was created to celebrate Black culture and serve our communities. For our allies, this resource will help you share our narratives. I hope you support me and my culture, or support your own culture by checking out this book and just tours around the globe that are Black owned from time to time during your travels. So with that said, those are the 4 areas that I always encounter or have to be concerned about when I travel anywhere in the globe with being a Black person. So I want to know, if you are Black, what other things do you have to worry about when you travel? What are some things? I may have missed something, but these are the 4 things that are common to me that always come up. The hair, the safety, am I American, or the staring? Okay, those are the 4 that are common for me, but I want to know what your experience is. And also, have you checked out this book? I want to know. I will leave a link to it down below in the description box. But with that said, if you enjoyed this discussion, make sure you hit the like button. Also, make sure you leave any comments or questions you have down below. And please make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. And lastly, make sure you share this video with your friends, family, and social media networks. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day or night wherever in the world you are.